Crossplane is too complicated. Or Crossplane is only for infrastructure and I need something else for applications. I hear those and other similar statements very often, so I decided to clarify a few things and hopefully eliminate some misconceptions. To be more precise, today I want to debunk one misconception about Crossplane and at the same time show how Crossplane addressed one semi-legitimate complaint in the recent V2 release. So, debunk one misconception and show one improvement with both of those being intertwined. What is the misconception, you might ask? People see Crossplane as the next generation Kubernetes-native tool that should be used to manage only infrastructure and look for a different solution when trying to accomplish a similar outcome for applications. As for the legitimate complaint, it is the perception that it is hard to alter Crossplane compositions. Today I will prove that neither is true, especially not since the release of Crossplane V2. If you're thinking whether to adopt Crossplane, this video will resolve some misunderstandings that might lead you to look elsewhere. On the other hand, if you're already using Crossplane, you will learn about a new feature that you were probably not aware of. Here's a definition of two applications, a backend and a frontend. Now, those are not typical templates like Helm where you would work with values file while trying to ignore the rest of the chart. Those are Kubernetes custom resources based on custom resource definitions and controllers created through Crossplane Compositions. In any case, they're as simple as it can get. Both are CRs up that define image and the tag we want to use, followed with port and the host through which we should be able to access those applications. On top of those, the backend has scaling enabled, while the frontend contains the information of the backend URL so that it knows where to send requests. Now, we can apply those and list all the apps in that namespace. Today's subject, however, is not about explaining how Crossplane compositions work. You can watch that tutorial over there. I'll put it in the description if you're not familiar with it. Instead, I want to show you a few new things released in V2 and debunk some myths about Crossplane. Here's the first one. Those are all the resources composed by the app silly demo frontend, and there are two important observations we can make. First of all, there is nothing, and I repeat, nothing related to infrastructure. If you're still not sure that's the case, let's list all those related to the backend. There is still nothing related to infrastructure. It composes the deployment, a horizontal pod autoscaler, an ingress, and the service. That alone should stop conversations that claim that Crossplane is only about infrastructure. Crossplane Compositions, to be specific, create CRDs and controllers that compose resources. Whether those resources, like in this case, represent an application or infrastructure or a service or anything else depends on the person who built that composition. Similarly, whether those resources are applied in the same cluster, as is this case, or in a different cluster, is also up to the person who designed the composition. Crossplane compositions do not care what resources are doing, nor where they come from. There are many ways, as we will see later, how resources can be composed, but they all ultimately compose resources no matter what they do or where they are. Now, you might have known that already if you use Crossplane and you're not among those claiming that it is used only to compose infrastructure. However, if that is the case, you might want to take a closer look at those resources and try to figure out what's missing. Go ahead, I'll wait. I will not wait. There are no what we call managed resources. No managed resources. No resources coming from Crossplane providers. Until recently, we could compose only managed resources that come from Crossplane providers. That could be resources like EC2 from the AWS provider, or GKE from the Google Cloud provider, or repository from the GitHub provider, or a dashboard from the Grafana provider, or anything else. If we wanted to compose Kubernetes resources like, for example, deployments, we had to use the managed resource object from the Kubernetes provider. Similarly, if we wanted to include a Helm chart, we had to use the release, which is a managed resource from the Helm provider. None of those are in that output. It composed a bunch of Kubernetes resources without using the Kubernetes provider. That's one of the new additional features introduced in Crossplane V2. From now on, we can compose resources directly. Whether you should do that or not is something we'll discuss later. For now, the important note is that we can compose anything, no matter whether those are resources brought in through Crossplane providers or anything else. If you want to compose, let's say, ACK resources directly, you can. If you want to include CMPG directly, you can. So, if you were thinking that Crossplane compositions are only for infra, now you know that's not the case. If you thought that you have to use Crossplane providers, now you know that you don't. That by itself can reduce the complexity when defining compositions. Let me explain. Here's how I would have done a composition we saw in action earlier, but a few years ago. That is arguably the worst way one would define a composition. There are two potential problems over there. One of those being something I could have fixed a while ago, while the other is fixable only recently. Let's start with the mistake that can be corrected only now that V2 is out. That composition composes a number of resources. There is a deployment, a service, and an ingress. All those are manifests inside the managed resource object. Now, that object is very useful for a number of reasons. One of them being able to apply Kubernetes resource in any cluster, not only in the cluster where Crossplane is running. We do that by specifying provider config ref, which points to a config with credentials used to access a cluster. However, in this specific case, where I want to compose resources inside the same cluster, that is only noise. I wasted time in a way, writing those 7 lines that define the object, and 2 more lines to point it to the provider config ref for no good reason, apart from Crossplane's requirement to use only resources available in its providers. That is not the case anymore. Now we can compose resources directly. And here's an example. On the first look, that composition might look the same, but it's not. All those objects are now gone, and we now have deployment, service, and ingress composed directly. We reduce the number of lines and the complexity without making any functional changes to that composition. Not having to use managed resources like object, but instead compose resources directly certainly makes authoring compositions easier. There are very few things, if anything, that can be removed from that composition to make it easier, except for those patches over there. They are horrible, and they lead me to the second problem. Listen, it's YAML. It's pure YAML. Now, I'm not going to tell you that YAML is bad. It is, but I'm not going to rub it to your face because I'm a nice guy. I am. The problem with YAML is verbosity and this is important, insufficient flexibility. The patches section is just silly but necessary. For example, one of those is telling Crossplane that we want to patch by taking a value from composite field path spec port and put it into spec template spec containers, the first entry in containers liveliness pro HTTP get port. That's how, among other things, it takes input from a composite resource, like the one we saw at the very start, and puts it as the value of the resource it is composing. Now you might say, wait a minute, why doesn't Crossplane do something similar to Cro that uses cell expressions as values to make them much, much less verbose? I have 2 answers to that question. First, that is not YAML anymore. It is a combination of YAML with cell and some other type of abomination. That does not necessarily mean that it is a bad approach, but only that it is not YAML anymore. Now, if we don't want YAML, then we should ask ourselves which format we want. Do we prefer Go templating like what's used with Helm? Or do we prefer Python? How about KCL? Well, you can have any of those and many others. Crossplane does not care about the format we use since it introduced functions. We can assemble resources in any language or any format available as long as it is available as a function. That solves many problems, especially those related to YAML abominations, which eventually all face the same issue of not being able to support stuff, whatever the stuff is, that is not available in YAML, but is available in other languages, and those could be like conditionals or loops or anything else we might need. Here's an example of a very similar composition as the one we saw previously, but this time written in KCL, which happens to be my favorite language for that kind of tasks. Instead of extending Crossplane Compositions YAML schema, now we can define resources in any language we want, with all the benefits of the language we choose. In this case, I'm declaring variable _spec that takes spec from composite resources, the manifests and the users define, and using it to retrieve image and tag, and combine those into the value of the image in the deployment. Similarly, there is a conditional if statement that will include horizontal pod autoscaler among composed resources only if scaling is enabled and set to true. Now, don't be depressed if KCL looks off-putting. I love it, but it might not be your cup of tea. If that's the case, let me remind you that you can use any language currently supported, and if what you want is not among those, it's easy to create a function that will support it yourself, and hopefully you can contribute it to the community. I hope that I debunked some misconceptions and shed some light on one of the Crossplane v2 features that should make authoring compositions easier. So let's summarize. Crossplane compositions are not only about infrastructure. We can use them to compose anything, be it infrastructure or applications or anything else. Next, Crossplane compositions do not force us anymore to compose only managed resources provided with Crossplane providers. We can certainly use them, but we can also compose any other Kubernetes resources, be it those baked into Kubernetes itself, like deployments, or third-party like CMPG or ACK, or anything else. If it can run in Kubernetes, it can be composed with Crossplane. Now, to be clear, anything could be composed before as well. It could. But this time, we do not need to wrap resources into Kubernetes object or Helm release or any other managed resource. The ability to compose anything existed since early days. What's new is that now we can compose any Kubernetes resource directly. What else? The ability to compose anything directly means that authoring compositions is easier than it was before. When taking into the account what Crossplane compositions can do, I would go as far as to say that it is now as easy as it can get. Finally, the flexibility to use any language currently supported is amazing. If YAML works for you, great, use it. If you prefer, let's say, Python, use it instead. If you would like to combine templating and KCL, you can do that as well. Crossplane does not care which language you prefer. Instead, it enables you to use whatever you're familiar with. To finish it off, I only mentioned one new feature in v2, the ability to compose resources directly without using managed resources. Now comes the question. Would it be interesting to go through all the new features and the changes you might want to make to Crossplane and your compositions? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers.